it always occurred to me it's a shame someone's not doing more with apples. Locally, we grow lots of apples. A couple of thousand acres of apples are grown in the region, and this is an old apple growing region. About 5 years ago, started really thinking hard about hard cider. And the industry there was a lot of buzz where there were a few small producers that were just starting to get going. There are no set really styles on ciders, and being a winery, you know, a Midwestern winery especially, our thinking is you have to come up with a product line if you're really going to do this right. So we came up with 3 base ciders. One that's a dry that's using Belgian yeast, a medium one, it's a little sharp, more of a green apple character, and then one a little more friendly entry level, touch sweeter, but very much those traditional apple flavors that people are accustomed to. So in the near past, what it was that you would have to be running at an incredibly high level of production in order to afford to put in a canning line. Now what's happened, you've had some really innovative manufacturers come in and make these smaller scale systems. You know, going from stuff that minimum was running 100 bottles per minute to stuff that's running 15. Then, to even make it, you know, that more accessible, you've got these mobile canning operations.
We travel all around St. Louis, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio.
They own all the equipment, and you know, we're basically looking at a cost per can thing.
Right now we're gonna can hard cider for Owl Creek Winery, Apple Knocker. So I got my helper JR here. He takes the cans one by one, puts them in the twist wrench. The cans get flipped upside down. We have sanitizer that rinses any dust or residual residue that could be in there from being stored. Then they hit the conveyor here, and we have a station for CO2 purge. It pre-fills the can with CO2, which is heavier than air, so it gets all the oxygen out of the can before it starts to be filled, and then goes immediately to the fill station where it fills the can from the bottom to the top. And then we get pushed over, which is about to happen here. So it gets the lid put on one by one, and then it goes through the seamer process, which is a double seam. Just like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite, exact same way, just a little bit smaller scale. So they're getting the quality of a high-speed line, they're getting the shelf life, they're getting everything you could want, but in a small package and be able to do small quantities. The cans are lighter, you'll have longer shelf life. You know, they don't have to purchase any equipment, so it works out really well for them.
And the sweet thing about it is they're working with the people that do the labels. You know, they're applying the labels to the cans. So they literally roll up with a complete package, and we just chug and plug and go. There's a lot of moving parts to even producing this stuff, but when something, you know, takes all that off of your plate, it's wonderful.
So hard cider is a little different than beer. We usually do beer, has a little more carbonation, so you really got to troubleshoot foam. Yeah, go on up to like 2 or 3 PSI. So once you get the thing running and get it all timed in, it usually just will run the rest of the day. But startup's always tough.
Sounds awfully simple, but the physics of it's a little bit tricky. It depends a lot on temperature, sizes of hoses, the rate that it's moving, how much head pressure, and it's being a little bit fitful. When things go well, the system runs at about 15 cans a minute.
We're starting to get our weights up now, so I think we're pretty close to being where we need to be. And of course, time to change lids, so you're always busy the whole time you're running.
The tricky thing with canning and with bottling is trying to keep the right carbonation levels, in the cider, and then making sure once it comes out of the tank that translates into the package.
That's why I stay right here. I watch every can be filled. I watch every lid be placed to make sure they're in the right position. And pretty much once it gets running good, it'll take care of itself. And then we just pick up the cans as needed, so you don't have to store them on site. And we bring them here the day that we need the can, exactly what we need. Cardboard flats, PackTech can carriers, and do that day's work and then hit the road and head home.
It's making canning possible for us, period. Otherwise we would be locked into bottles.
That's kind of our goal. Start small and get big. Help these guys grow. He can buy more tanks. We can do bigger runs. It's all about growth and starting from the bottom and getting up there where you want to be.
And the cans, get us into the markets that have more volume for us. We sell a fair amount locally and through our tasting room, but to be completely honest, it's been great to get us in faraway urban markets. There's a thirst out there for locally grown, high quality cider, and there's none of this snobbery that the apples have to be grown in Napa. I think it's only going to grow, especially in southern Illinois. Here at Owl Creek, we're almost at the point where we're making more cider than we do wine. And we've only been in full production for, gosh, we're going into our 3rd year of production. So it's just wildly growing.